Welcome back, this is Operation Storm Shield, and we're kicking this mission off with Frederick Nelson, Amy Lane, Isabel Serrano, and Keeb. Now this mission is basically the bomb mission from Xcom 1 minus the bomb killing your entire squad, but that doesn't mean we can't just dick around. We have 4 turns to disable the bomb, and we got these little orb things to destroy in order to give us more time. So the first pod we find is a sectoid and advent trooper. It's a pretty easy pod to take down. But that being said, the key thing about this mission is to be very aggressive and take down these orbs to give ourselves more time, as well as dealing with the pods and hopefully 1 or 2 turns. So this is going to be a pretty simple pod to deal with. We're just going to need to get everybody into an Overwatch ambush and have Keeb lead the takedown. Holy shit, what the fuck? We out! So with the sectoid on the run, we begin aggressively pursuing him, destroying an orb thing along the way. While aggressively advancing like this, you're going to run the risk of running into more pods and biting more than you can chew, which is exactly what happens. So we're on the defensive again, mainly because most of our Xcom operatives don't have any clear shots on the aliens, so we're forced to run into hard cover and weather the storm. Oh yeah, I didn't need that flashbang. This is entirely a difficult situation to get ourselves out of. We just need Keeb to get up and throw a grenade and deal with that Overwatch, or just to straight up kill him, that works too. So with Keeb basically saving us an entire grenade, we're gonna use our next grenade to destroy the other Advent Trooper's cover, as well as that warp thing. With the cover gone, Frank Nielsen now has a good shot at the Advent Trooper. So with the Advent Trooper down, the sectoid runs to heavy cover and basically resurrects his dead comrade. I want your brain! So with Isabel not freaking out anymore and 1 dead sectoid, I move Keeb up to confirm if there's any other pods in the area. If there are none, pretty much just take my shot, begin moving the squad up to merge with the sectoid, and I completely forget about the transmitter in the rear. That won't bite me in the ass later. Now we need to kind of be quick about this. We did just take 2 pods down back to back. We do have a fair amount of time if we just take out these transmitter or orb things. And oh. I'll be honest, that threw a huge wrench in my plan, but I mean, I guess I'll just do what I can. Now I don't think Xcom Enemy Unknown and Within had mechanics like this. But regardless, we're still gonna have to deal with the reinforcing pod. Basically, reinforcements just drop another pod down. So with what we can do, we could claim the high ground in order to remove our Overwatch penalty. Since we're not in concealment, we'll suffer a 20% aim penalty while doing Overwatch, but that shouldn't matter too much because we basically have a free turn.
They're about to disconnect the transmitter. This is our last chance.
Yeah, thanks Bradford. And that was completely fucking terrible, holy fuck! So it's not entirely all doom and gloom. We still have some things we can do to buy ourselves more time to actually solve the problem. And the first thing we do obviously is send Isabel Serrano in the back to get rid of the transmitter to buy ourselves more time. So on the bright side, Amy Lane does have a fairly good shot on the Advent Trooper right below her. But Amy fucks it up. Then we tell Keeb to go kill the Advent officer because shotguns at close range are pretty fucking awesome. So with 2 Advent troopers still alive, it's still pretty risky to basically take a shot from them. So we're going to just throw a flashbang to increase our survivability. So this isn't entirely a hopeless situation. We have the timer still ticking down. We haven't taken any damage from the Advent Troopers, so it gives us an opportunity to make a plan, which completely relied on my boy Frank hitting his shot. I'll be honest, I was completely banking on Frank hitting that shot because everybody needed to reload. Well, an 88% chance isn't the best thing to bet your life on, but it's the only option we have. That being said, it's all up to Keeb. You're gonna see me relying on Keeb a lot because he's a ranger, and they're pretty valuable in the early game. Also because he's Keeb. The situation isn't looking good. The Advent Trooper is no longer disoriented. We pretty much ran out of time, and we're relying on an Overwatch shot to kill the Advent Trooper. Of course.
Target's still up. My position's been compromised.
Holy fuck!
Incoming over
On the
here.
bright side, nobody's dead or hurt yet, and there's only one more pod. But the problem is we failed the mission.
It's too late. They've disconnected the transmitter.
So all that's left is just to kill this Advent Trooper and get ready to fight the next pod and go home. And what the fuck? Why did I do that? I just realized. She can miss. Oh, but she didn't, so that's good. The live version is always in the description, but I'll be honest, when it first comes out I won't be there because I'm rendering the video, most likely, because it's 1 billion gigabytes. Anyways, without the timer to let us make bad decisions faster, we can now make our bad decisions a little bit slower, which is kind of helpful. Now we just kind of do the classic Xcom strat where you just roam around the map with Overwatch constantly on, taking 1 billion turns. Also, in my desperation to not fail the mission, I try to fucking attack the transmitter, hoping it just turns on, and Bradford's like, oh, the transmitter's back on, have fun. Obviously it doesn't work, so we just continue our Overwatch crawl until a wild Advent officer appears.
We've got Advent here.
Beep boop boop. Fuck, Isabel!
Yeah, I didn't get it.
Okay, this engagement is a little bit more tricky than the previous ones because we don't really have any grenades and there's not a whole lot of obvious flank rounds we can take without taking some risks. And that's exactly what we're going to be doing. But Keeb is pretty reliable.
Target neutralized.
Now in situations like these I usually just put everybody I can in heavy cover and put them in Overwatch. But in this situation I decide to be a little bit more ballsy and decide to just dash over across the street so we have a bit more opportunity, so we can have more opportunities to basically flank and fuck these boys in the ass. You gotta love rookie Overwatch.
Not good.
There's heavy fire in this zone.
So our most capable member of our squad is literally mind controlled, and honestly that becomes priority number 1 to get rid of. So Frederick feels like he's up for the task. And Frederick is on point right now. So unfortunately, even though we got rid of the sectoid, we're still not in control of the whole situation, and we're going to be running the risk that we get an injured soldier, or worst case scenario, our fucking guy dies. At this point we're kind of just gambling our shots with Keeb because he's shooting at somebody in full cover, which is not very smart. Now in order to increase our odds of actually landing hits with Amy Lane, we send her to a higher elevation to score some better hits with her aim bonus, and we just put everybody else on Overwatch. But unfortunately I kind of forget the Advent Trooper has grenades. On the flip side, nobody's actually dead yet, and Amy is in heavy cover. My butthole clenches every time they get shot at, by the way. While it gets a little toasty in here, Keeb's gonna do something very spicy. While I lost control of the situation in just one turn, I do my best to get everybody in position to support Keeb.
Affirmative. Covering now.
even though Amy actually hit her target, the fucking situation is kind of out of control because of what I did. Honestly, I can't tell you why I made that decision.
Not even close.
Enemy is still up.
But I will say that this guy's fucking lucky as fuck. Holy shit!
That was close.
So with Key being an unstoppable madman, we just send the rest of the squad up to help get rid of the aliens and have Key clean up what he started and go home. Sadly, we still lost, but on the bright side, we did get some promotions for our rookies. Also, Key learns how to fucking swing a sword. So the Advent Black Site appears, and if you're not familiar with the game, it's just a mission for the Avatar Project mechanic, which basically, if you don't know, if the Avatar Project reaches its maximum thing, and the timer ticks down to 0, you basically instantly lose. So with Alien Biotech out of the way, we can actually build an infirmary, but we also get an Inspire to examine the Advent Officer, which basically means we can get a foundry. That's exactly what we choose. Operation Lost and Abandoned. So, if I'm being 100% honest, this very quickly became my most hated mission. Not outclassing Gate Crashers, of course, but I'll be honest, it's just really boring. But if I'm to give it a fair shake, I'll just say it's a pretty cool way to introduce the War of the Chosen DLC. And it's kind of cool to command 2 squads of 2 squaddies to enter into this zone. The only problem is the Lost, and honestly, the Lost could really just be removed from this DLC and I'd be happy. But anyways, join me next week for Operation Lost and Abandoned.